All right, let's get real for a second. Is your work life just bleeding into your personal life? Has your kitchen table basically become your office? And is your bedroom now the main conference room? If you're nodding along, then you are in exactly the right place. We're about to dive into some simple, super practical ways to reclaim your space, your time, and let's be honest, your sanity. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to bust a few of those common work-from-home myths. Then, we'll look at the real cost of when work never seems to end. After that, we'll get to the good stuff, the power of rituals, how to build your own daily toolkit, and we'll wrap it all up with a 30-day action plan to make this stuff stick. Okay, so let's kick things off with why most of the advice you've probably heard about working from home is, well, pretty useless in the real world. Does this feel a little too familiar? You started working from home thinking, finally, I'll have some balance. But instead, you just feel like you never ever leave the office. You're just living in this weird, blurry space where everything feels kind of work adjacent.
I mean, we've all heard it, right? Create a dedicated office. Awesome advice, but what if you live in a 600 square foot apartment? Don't work in your bedroom, they say. Okay, but that's where the good Wi-Fi is. It's so clear that the standard advice just was not designed for how we actually live. And this brings us to a really crucial shift in thinking. What if we stop obsessing about perfect physical separation, because for a lot of us that's just impossible, and start focusing on psychological separation instead? The real secret isn't about the space, it's about sending clear signals to our brain. So what's the big deal, right? Well, this constant blurring of lines isn't just a minor annoyance. It actually comes with some real tangible costs that are quietly draining us day in and day out. This is what's really happening under the surface. Work just expands to fill every single available minute. We get this massive decision fatigue from constantly choosing, should I send one more email or should I start dinner? And then there's the guilt. You feel guilty for working, but then you feel guilty for relaxing. It's this exhausting, no-win cycle that just grinds you down. But here's the good news, and honestly, this is a total game changer. The solution isn't about building bigger, better walls between your work and your life. It's about creating better doorways, clear, intentional transitions. So, how do we build those doorways? This is where we have our aha moment. The answer is in something incredibly simple, really powerful, and already hardwired into our brains. Rituals. Think of it like this. A ritual boundary is just a simple, consistent action that's like a starting gun for your workday and a final bell when it's all over. It's the psychological cue your brain desperately needs to hear, okay, it's time for work now, and even more importantly, hey, work is now officially done. And these aren't just empty gestures. Not at all. Think about it. A physical commute used to do this for us automatically. Driving to an office signaled the start of work, and that drive home signaled the end. Now we have to create that signal for ourselves. These little rituals signal a role change from worker back to just being a human, and they dramatically, seriously reduce that exhausting decision fatigue. Okay, let's get super practical. Here are some simple, really effective rituals you can start using right away, even if your office is just the corner of your kitchen table. A start-of-day ritual can take less than 5 minutes. Seriously, you just clear your space, you set up your gear the exact same way every single time, and maybe you switch into your work shirt. That simple act of just changing your shirt is surprisingly powerful. This consistent little sequence signals to your brain, all right, it's time to focus. Now, the end-of-day shutdown is just as important, if not more so. You close your apps, you clear your desktop, but the real magic is physically putting the laptop away. I don't mean just closing the lid, I mean moving it completely out of sight. And look, it might feel a little silly to say work is done out loud at first, but it's such a powerful final command to your brain. And hey, if your office is the kitchen table, you can literally transform that same physical space. During the day, maybe you use a specific work placemat, and you only drink from your work mug. When the day ends, that placemat gets put away, the mug goes right in the sink, and you put something else on the table, like some flowers. You are physically resetting the stage for your personal life. Now, knowing these tricks is one thing, but making them a habit, that's the real challenge. So let's break down a simple plan to make these rituals stick in just 30 days. Here's how you make it stick without getting totally overwhelmed. In week 1, just focus on one single start of work ritual. That's it. Once that feels natural, then you add an end of work ritual in week 2. By breaking it down week by week, you actually build the habit without it feeling like some big chore. And you know what? If you were just completely overwhelmed right now and your boundaries feel totally gone, just start with this. Tomorrow, pick a shirt to be your work shirt. When you put it on, work starts. When you take it off, work ends. And when work ends, put your laptop completely away, in a drawer, on a shelf, anywhere but in your line of sight. That's it. You can absolutely do that.
So, if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. Stop chasing the myth of perfect separation. It's not real. Instead, master the art of the intentional transition. That's where you're going to find the balance you've been looking for. These small, consistent rituals, they're what will truly redefine the role work plays in your home and in your life.
Start simple, stay consistent, and really protect those rituals. They are the key to reclaiming your time and your energy. If you found this helpful, please share it, give it a like, and definitely subscribe to our channel. Thanks so much for being here.